Hi everyone, my name is Kartik and my channel is about mental models. I hope you're enjoying my videos. If you are, then please subscribe to my channel and please like and share this video with everyone you know. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the surface area mental model. When we think of surface area, we may be reminded of GCSE chemistry and how chemical reactions are impacted by changes in surface area. And we can visualize this by looking at a cube. If we chop the cube in half down the center, what we would get from my very crude drawing of a cube is an increase in surface area. For the original cube, we would have a surface area of 6, but in this case, when we chop it in half, we would have a surface area of 6 plus 6 is equal to 12. Now, in the world of mental models, surface area is very similar. Just as increasing the surface area increases the rate of a reaction because there is a larger area for reactants to react with each other, increasing our exposure to the world around us or a specific environment, such as our working environment, as an example, can be very impactful. Now, this impact can be both beneficial or negative. So let's take a fictitious scenario as an example. Let's take a fictitious scenario where you take on a project. So you've taken on this project and it is very visible to, so this is you, and you've taken on this very visible project, and the visibility is to very senior people, like the board of directors, very senior people whom have this visibility. And so this would be akin to increasing your exposure. If you succeed in this project, it will be very beneficial, and you will obviously be recognized, and you might even be promoted. But if you fail, then this will be in full view of management and could limit your career prospects. And so we need to be mindful of our exposure and decide whether keeping our exposure small or increasing our exposure will be better for us. This is dependent on, of course, the scenario itself, but we must be ready to make that decision. Surface area is also not only about exposure, but it also refers to something called, I'm going to write it here, cognitive diversity. Cognitive diversity is the variety of ways individuals think, process information, and approach problem solving. So it's the problem solving. So it's the variety of ways in which people approach this. It encompasses cognitive diversity. It encompasses many differences in thought and problem solving, which can lead to more creativity innovation and improved decision making, which is what the name of the game is. So increasing surface area means increasing cognitive diversity. And the key aspects of cognitive diversity are differences in thinking styles. So broadening our thinking style is very, very important. So let's think about it. If we are only, say, experimental in our thought process, broadening this to being analytical, practical, or relational will help in the way we process information. So just sticking to sort of experimental, but having all of these others will help. And another way, another key aspect is diverse perspectives. Individuals may have different experiences and backgrounds. So broadening this will only help to better shape our perspectives on issues. So let's say we use intuition to problem solve. So let's say we use intuition to problem solve. Now, this is not a bad thing, but what if we could also use logic and collaboration? Let's say we could use that rather than intuition alone. So we add this into the bubble, into the mix. This is another key aspect of cognitive diversity, and this is called varied problem-solving approaches. So these two sort of fit in here, in that one. And finally, another key aspect of cognitive diversity is called influence of background. This is where things like background and gender can contribute to cognitive diversity. Going back to something I mentioned earlier, that increasing our surface area and exposure may result in a negative outcome. And so we must be mindful that the more we expose ourselves, the more vulnerable we are. And if we overexpose ourselves, then there may be a greater chance of a negative outcome, sort of this, a negative outcome, than a benefit. And so understanding this risk versus our risk appetite is important, because in reality, it isn't just one surface area. It isn't just one cube. It is that different situations require different surface areas. So in one situation, you might want to sort of limit your exposure, so you have one cube, but in another, you might want to increase your exposure, so you might want to have 2 or 3 cubes. So that's the way to sort of think about it. Yes, there is only one of you, but it's more about the events and scenarios you wish to expose yourself to, and how much you want to work on the cognitive diversity aspect. And that's all for this video. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then please check out my earlier videos flashing on screen now. And I will see you in the next video with another mental model. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.